the BIS is the Bank of International Settlements, and it's the central bank of central banks.
Where is that located?
It's in Basel, Switzerland.
And this man is the head of the Bank for International Settlements. He said,
a key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also, we will have the technology to enforce that.
The Bank of International Settlements has said that there is 80 trillion, not billion, not million, trillion dollars of hidden debt in the U.S.
I don't say I hate white people. But this is their home. They've got a role to play. But they must agree that there must be a deliberate program to empower black people the same way there was a deliberate program to empower.
This is the Bank for International Settlements, the BIS. You've probably never heard of it, but it's one of the most powerful financial institutions on earth. Known as the Central Bank of Central Banks, it unites 63 central banks that control about 95% of the world's GDP. Right now, as you watch this, officials from the US Federal Reserve, European Central Bank, and others are likely meeting behind closed doors, setting policies that impact your economy, from Africa to Asia. Welcome to Afriscope TV, where truth lives and propaganda dies. If you believe Africans must control their own money, not foreign bankers, hit like, share, and subscribe now. And if this opened your eyes, hit that super thanks to support our mission for financial justice. To understand how BIS got this power, we go back to 1930. Originally set up to manage Germany's war reparation payments after World War I, the BIS quickly evolved. Its real mission: to become the silent meeting ground where central banks coordinate monetary policy, outside the view of the public. But the legacy of secrecy quickly turned to scandal. During World War II, BIS transferred Czech gold to the Nazi German Reichsbank after Germany's invasion, a move that outraged the Allies. So much so that at the Bretton Woods Conference in 1944, the Allies voted to shut it down. But that vote was quietly buried. And BIS survived, stronger, richer, and more secretive than ever.
If you look at the group of people who meet through the BIS,
what's that?
The BIS is the Bank of International Settlements, and it's the central bank of central banks.
Where is that located?
It's in Basel, Switzerland, and it has 63 of the most powerful central banks as its members, and the New York Fed and the Fed are both shareholders. They became shareholders in 1994.
In one sentence, what's the purpose of the Bank of International Settlements?
Okay, so there are two things you need to know about the Bank of International Settlements.
I'm not sure my brain's big enough for this, but keep going.
It is.
Okay.
It has sovereign immunity.
What does that mean?
It's above the law.
It's its own country.
Right. It's its own country. It has its own police force. And essentially, other than one of its staff being in a car accident or, minor things, no one has the legal authority to move against it. Okay, and it's sovereign immunity. That's number one. Number two, it can move money and hold it on its on its balance sheet and manage money secretly. So if I want to, I'm grossly oversimplifying, if I want to steal 21 trillion from the U.S. government and park it on the balance sheet of the BIS, it can move it anywhere in the world and it can keep it on its balance sheet secretly.
Why would there be an organization? But first of all, where does its power? Like, who empowered it to have sovereign immunity in the right?
It was created after World War I and sort of collected its powers and got going in the 30s. And it was created in theory to manage the reparations of the German government. But if you read the real history, it was because the Bank of England and the central bankers wanted an entity that had sovereign immunity. They wanted to be able to move money secretly. So, for example, if you look at what happened during World War II and all the money that was moving back and forth between the Germans and Americans, Dulles was over in Switzerland helping to manage all these transfers back and forth. So there's a wonderful book called The Tower of Basel by a wonderful Hungarian journalist where he documents and describes the whole history of the Bank of International Settlements. And if you want to understand power in this world, understanding how the Bank of International Settlements and the plumbing of the central banking system works is very, very important.
What makes the BIS truly dangerous isn't just its secrecy, it's the fact that it operates with extraordinary legal protection. The BIS enjoys immunity. Swiss police can't enter. Its assets can't be seized. Staff don't pay taxes. Its board meetings sealed for decades. Who runs this? The BIS board includes the heads of the US Federal Reserve, Bank of England, European Central Bank, and yes, South Africa's Reserve Bank governor. But here's the problem: while South Africa has a seat, the rest of Africa remains excluded from a club that sets rules affecting the entire continent. This is the ultimate colonial hangover, a European-created institution still controlling the rules of global money. Pause. Let that sink in. Then hit the like and share button if you believe Africa must reclaim financial sovereignty. And don't forget to subscribe for weekly truths the mainstream ignores. Support bold truth. Hit super thanks if you value independent Pan-African media like Afriscope TV.
Have you ever heard that there's a place where money is above the law, where wealth moves without a trace, untouched by governments, untouchable by courts? It's not a myth. It's the Bank for International Settlements, the BIS. The fortress in Basel, Switzerland, where 63 of the world's most powerful central banks meet in secret. The US Federal Reserve is there. The Bank of England is there. The European Central Bank is there. But what they're really doing there? That's something you're not supposed to know, because this isn't just a bank. It's a sanctuary, a vault where billions can flow across borders without oversight, protected by a shield of sovereign immunity. During World War II, as Europe burned and soldiers bled, fortunes moved back and forth between enemies, between allies, all through the BIS. They called it neutrality. But what do you call a bank that moves money for both sides of a war? Today, the BIS still stands, immune from the laws that bind the rest of us. Its assets can't be seized. Its records can't be searched. Its transactions are untouchable, untraceable. While you're hustling to pay your bills, they're moving billions in silence. And why does this matter to you? Because while you're stressing about rent, they're setting policies that ripple through your life. Interest rates, exchange rates, bailouts, and banking collapses. It all starts here. It all flows through Basel. And what if they decide to pull the plug? What if they decide that your economy, your savings, your future are just collateral damage in their next global play? But don't worry. They'll tell you it's all in the name of stability. They'll say it's for the greater good. But the next time they tell you the system is safe, ask yourself, if the power to move billions in silence exists, how much power do they really have? And if they can move money without a trace, what else are they moving that we can't see? Because power doesn't disappear. It just goes underground. And in Basel, it's hiding in plain sight.
The Bank of International Settlements has said that there is 80 trillion, not billion, not million, trillion dollars of hidden debt in the US. So you can add that to the national debt to, what is it now, 110 trillion now? Yeah, they're really racking up the bills, aren't they?
Today, the BIS is leading the global push for central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. CBDCs promise speed and efficiency. But they also carry a dangerous risk: total surveillance. BIS Chief Augustin Carstens himself said, "With CBDCs, central banks will have absolute control, and we will have the technology to enforce it."
For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also, we will have the technology to enforce that. Those two issues are extremely important, and that makes a huge difference with respect to what cash is.
There is nothing wrong with crushing white supremacy. It is wrong to think that you are superior to others on the basis of the color of your skin. And what perpetuates that is the economic exclusion of our people. Defeating of white supremacy and dominance is not hatred of white people. When I say I hate white supremacy, I don't say I hate white people. But this is their home. They've got a role to play. But they must agree that there must be a deliberate program to empower black people, the same way there was a deliberate program to empower.
Imagine a world where every transaction is traceable, programmable, and controllable by central banks. In Africa, where mobile money led a financial revolution, CBDCs threaten to crush this independence with top-down control. Will BIS-led CBDCs liberate or enslave the future of African money? From a gold bank for Nazis to the architects of digital money, the BIS has quietly moved from the shadows to the center of global finance. Its influence is immense. Its secrecy is protected. Its power is unchecked. But Africa is rising. We must decide, do we stay in a system designed without us, or build our own? The African Union has launched the AfCFTA. Leaders are calling for an African monetary fund. New movements want an African credit rating agency to break the exploitative cycle. The BIS was never made for Africa. But Africa can make its own future. If you believe it's time to reclaim Africa's economic destiny, drop a comment, hit like, and share this video. Subscribe to Afriscope TV for the truth they don't want you to hear. And don't forget hit that super thanks if you want to keep us independent and fearless. Disclaimer. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. Afriscope TV does not promote hate, violence, or misinformation. All content is based on publicly available data and expert commentary. Viewers are encouraged to think critically and verify independently.